What is up, everybody? This is Fred Ricciani of the Sports Courier. We are here to check out the new NWO pack, the DLC. I decided let's book a 6-man match featuring all the newest NWO members you could get at WrestleMania 18. I believe I booked a 6-man Hell in a Cell match. Why? Because I can. And right now, we see 6-Pac, a.k.a. X-Pac, a.k.a. Sean, the Lightning Kid, slash the 1-2-3 Kid, slash the Kid Waltman. Dude's had so many freaking names over his career, but definitely a talented performer. Why did I book a 6-man Hell in a Cell? Because I want to. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't book a 7-man match, so I did not include the Giant, a.k.a. The Big Show, and his old WCW character in this match. But I will be doing another match between the Big Show and the Giant soon. Very soon. But as you can see right there, a very authentic entrance. Six, of course, was the 1-2-3 Kid prior to joining WCW. He won an S6, he won the Cruiserweight Championship, and then he unfortunately lost. He unfortunately lost his job, broke his neck. Eric Bischoff fired him. And I don't know if they took care of his surgery or not, but they kind of left him high and dry. He was brought back as X-Pac, and the rest is history. He was a member of the great D-Generation X. Pretty cool. I'm pretty sure he's the only guy outside of Rick Rude that was technically a member of the NWO in its heyday and DX in its heyday. I mean, I guess Shawn Michaels, but that WWE version of the NWO was horrendous. And X-Pac, of course, was also part of the WWE version of the NWO, which, as I mentioned, was horrendous. Another guy, Macho Man Randy Savage. This dude is the real deal. He belongs in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's highly debated as to why he's not in the Hall of Fame. I ain't gonna get into that. You know, y'all could look that up for yourselves. But Macho Man was in the NWO. Yes, after they started having more than 7 members or 6 members, it did go overboard as far as how many members they had. It did become oversaturated, especially when they had, Wolfpac, even though I loved the Wolfpac as a kid. The LWO, black and white, red and black, it was just overkill. But Macho Man was pretty damn good in the NWO, and he had an excellent feud with Diamond Dallas Page, who's a buddy of mine, and also a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Now, who we got here? Big, sexy Kevin Nash. I know not a lot of people like Kevin Nash, but listen, as a dude that grew up in the 90s, that got into pro wrestling in the late 90s, I have to say, when you're a 3rd or 4th grader, man, there was nobody cooler than the NWO. Outside of actually maybe Steve Austin and Rock. But outside of that, as far as like WCW goes, I mean, even before Rock and Austin really blew up, I mean, there was nobody cooler in the business than the Outsiders, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, even Six. Hulk Hogan was even cool. Think about that. Hulk Hogan being the goody two-shoes dude for all these years, and all of a sudden he turns heel, and he's just, what's old is new. Some people say John Cena should turn heel. Maybe he will down the road, but the difference is with the NWO, they had some strong baby faces in WCW. The problem is they were rarely put over the NWO. I mean, you had Sting in Starrcade 97, which should have led to a big, long babyface run, but instead it was just Sting wins the title, it's vacated. Pretty sure Hogan won it back. And yeah, you had Goldberg, but even his run, wasn't that long if you really think about it. I mean, he was built up for a year and a half, won the world title, was amazing. And then, of course, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall tasered him to death and broke his streak, and he was never the same again. And speaking of the NWO, yes, this is an all NWO match. We got Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, who revitalized his career with the NWO. For a while, it seemed like the dude was done for. He was a commentator. He was a manager. He famously managed the Nature Boy Ric Flair to a WWE Championship win. But I guess he got healthy over time in the mid-late 90s. Came to WCW. Granted, he was not the same performer that he was, years ago, but he was still pretty damn good. He was briefly a member of the Four Horsemen. Turned on the Four Horsemen, I believe, if my timeline is correct, at Fall Brawl 97 during the War Games match. And here he is as a member of the NWO. I believe he also had a brief stint with the NWO Wolfpack, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that was years ago. Also, it's kind of confusing, you know. Over time, you go from Wolfpack to NWO to WCW. I mean, we talk about the Giant. I mean, the Giant, the Big Show, went from freaking WCW, NWO, WCW, NWO, WCW, NWO. He teased joining the Alliance, you know, during the Invasion angle in the World Wrestling Federation. Then he joined the NWO. Then he was out of the NWO. Just overkill. You know, kind of like all his baby face and heel turns. And here you got Scott Hall. Of course, they got the Titantron, you know, they had in WWE. And why did I pick WrestleMania 18? Well, that was the home of the return of the NWO. Now, technically, they debuted in WWE at No Way Out 2002, but their lone WrestleMania appearance was WrestleMania 18, which I think is kind of an underrated WrestleMania. I think Rock and Hogan was a classic match there. Scott Hall versus Steve Austin was pretty good, although in retrospect, I think Steve Austin should have definitely been higher on the card. You know, you had Diamond Dallas Page, you know, make an appearance, you know, retaining the European title over Christian. Edge and Booker T had a nice little match as well, although that was infamously a feud over a Japanese shampoo commercial. I'm not kidding you. A Japanese shampoo commercial. But here we got the bad guy, his last great run. Sure, he had a run in TNA Impact Wrestling, but it just wasn't the same. And who do we have here? Let's see who we got coming out next. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Man, I loved Big Papa Pump as a kid. He did have a nice career revival in TNA, but honestly, after 2001, he was never really the same in the ring. I thought he was still hilarious on the mic. More often than not, for being so bad, he was good. But make no mistake about it, when the dude was on, when the dude you know, didn't have his injuries plaguing him, he could work. He could work. Some people might say, well, he got his physique in certain ways that may or may not have been legal. But at the end of the day, you know, the dude knew how to have a good match. The dude had a lot of great matches. The dude was one half of the legendary tag team, the Steiner Brothers, which were briefly reunited, I should say, in TNA. And they took on Team 3D, a.k.a. the Dudley Boys, Bully Ray, a.k.a. Bubba Ray, and Devon Dudley. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I selected 6. So I'm going to play as 6 and try to win this match. This is an Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. So we'll see what happens here and who ends up winning. Oof. Man, oh man. I got tossed by my boy Kevin Nash. All right, well, I think I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to chill here for a little bit. Ow. I was trying to lure Scott Steiner out of the ring. Let's see if I could send him into the cell. Oh. Yeah, I just got power bombed right there. You see the strength difference, obviously. But he ain't going to mess with me, son. Bam. Got that 6 agility. As you can see right there. Sending him back. Oh, but the strength of Scott Steiner is way too much for me. But I'm gonna launch myself at him. Here we go. I'm gonna go up top. This is gonna be a mistake. Yeah, it actually was a pretty big mistake. Yes, I am fighting like Bobby the Brain Heenan as opposed to a pro wrestler. I do not want to get my butt whooped. Let me see if I can go for a pin here. Go for a pin combination. Oh, I'll try anyway. And wow, there is a lot of chaos going on here. Oh, that was an epic fail. So let's see if I can. Okay, well, you know what? Let's go up against Macho Man. All right, let's see what Macho Man's got for us right here. And wow, the best friends, the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, kicking each other's butts. This is interesting. Let's see how the AI is here. Oh man, I'm just getting my ass whooped. But again, why am I having a 6-man Hell in a Cell match? Because I can. Because I can. But also to show you guys all the performers from the new DLC pack, the NWO pack. Again, you get NWO Scott Steiner. You get NWO Macho Man Randy Savage. You got Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, who was just Kurt Hennig. You have Big Sexy Kevin Nash. You have the bad guy Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Scott Hall. So you see him doing all their trademark moves there. Let me see if I can actually get 6 to the point where he's in signature mode. I think I'm going to be cheap and grab a weapon. Now, I will. If people want to see all these guys in action individually, I will actually do some individual matches with these dudes as well. So that way you can see them all in action with their signature moves rather than have the chaos that is this Hell in a Cell match. Oof, atomic drop. Did 6 even pick up Scott Steiner? I don't even know he could pick him up. Oh, and I am just getting my butt whooped here. I tried to use the sledgehammer like 6's best friend, Triple H. Did not work out so well. Oof, that is definitely not working out in my favor. Well, folks, I think it's time to sign off. You saw the entrances. You see who's in the match. I'm probably going to get my ass kicked here. But so far, so good. So if you want to get these NWO pack, you can purchase it. I believe it is $10, might be $15 on the WWE shop section of WWE 2K14. However, oh wait, is he going to go for the Frankensteiner? Oh my goodness, or is he going to go for a giant suplex? Let's see what he's going to do. Oh my goodness gracious. Huge suplex here. Huge suplex. And yes, you can see the ring vibrating since Nash was going for a submission. But anyway, you can purchase this NWO pack at the WWE shop section of 2K14. You must have Xbox Live if you want to download it, obviously. And if you have the season pass, it is free. So yes, the season pass is worth it because you can just pay once. And then, booyah, you got all the DLC that you need the rest of the year and early next year when the final Legends pack comes out. So, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Like I said, I'll be doing individual reviews for each character themselves, such as Kevin Nash, as you see right there, Macho Man Randy Savage, Scott Hall, 6, you name it. Also, of course, not featured here, the Giant, a.k.a. The Big Show, Paul White. Tweet us, Facebook us, do what you got to do. Somebody save me because I'm getting my ass whooped.